Hey guys, we are live another week. Thomas,
Hi
thank you for
guys.
coming.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Thomas. Yeah.
Welcome. Sunday chat. Why not
Yeah.
talk about cars?
Sorry took your time away from washing your cars.
No, I washed already. Called him already. I washed
Got it
earlier.
ready. All right,
Yeah.
I always wonder, Thomas, how long would it take to wash a car? I mean, assume the car has been maintained. How long would you take for a particular car?
I budget 45 minutes lah.
Seriously, so
Yeah,
efficient.
45 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
45
that's-
minutes.
that's
I mean,
quick.
if you do if you don't really care, you just maybe you can do 15 minutes. But if you really care, then I budget 45 minutes. And
Bro, I've seen your videos, bro. How is it 45 minutes?
those are longer because I have to film my video. I have to take the camera, go around, do this, do that.
Okay.
Because if you do it more and more often, then it's just
Mm.
back of your hand now. You just then you're done. Yeah.
I noticed that like when you are set up for wash a car, I'm like, okay, fine. Like, just do few cars at the same time because it's much faster because all the equipment is out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still perfecting my skills. Like today on Horizons, we got a WhatsApp group among the Horizon team members. They were saying like the other day HP tried to do my car, my Everest about a few months back, and he put the iron remover on the wheels. And like, hey, how come not coming out? You put some more. We keep putting more and more. And someone made a comment today. It's like, no, you got to first put, what is it? Was the activator or to remove the dirt and then like detergent and like a few layers.
Your Everest must have mud on it. If you have mud on it, you must get rid of the mud first.
No, mud
then
is
your
gone.
iron remover can touch the the chemical can touch the brake dust. So sometimes you got mud on your tires. You have to give it a rinse or you have to remove the mud first so the chemical can react on it. It's actually chemistry, So just I mean, okay, if you want your car to be just just look clean, don't care, then you don't have to think too much. But if you're like me, you want a car to look shiny every day, look good, then you must do all this stuff.
Thomas, I'm actually considering rotating my rims on my Everest because I find it too hard to clean with that. It has like a rivet bolts. So it's very hard to clean.
Oh, man.
So I'm thinking of changing the design.
That one you have to
easier
use
clean.
brushes and all that. That one, all
But if
the
you're really
nuts,
lazy,
right? The small nuts.
If you're really lazy, you just get Pro Nano. Just whack everything, okay? You just Pro Nano.
But mine is an old school style rim, which is like a chrome finish, whatever. So I'm even got to the point of trying to fashion up like sponges, put on a drill, so you can go and like zing, 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 and then kind of wash the bolts. So yeah,
let's talk about car wash because today we're talking about Mercedes, right?
Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us. We've got some fans here joining us. Let's do a quick intro. Derek here. Hi, Derek. How are you, man?
Hi, Derek.
We got the watchman himself, Gurpal Singh. Gurpal and I were supposed to do a video about watches. I really want to do a video about watches. Thomas, we must do one with Adrian and if they get together, guys, and just talk about a little watches. So Gurpal is the man I want to bring on board.
Don't ask me.
Derek says Masili AMG supporter here. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a hashtag Masili Thomas soon.
Masli.
We got Con here. Hey, yes, Con. Let's talk Mercedes. So guys, if you got different way of saying Mercedes, please comment in the chat below. I want to hear all different types of words or ways to mention Mercedes.
Masli. My grandpa always say Masli.
Okay. We got HP obviously. Hi HP, how are you? Greetings everybody. We got Kanesan. Hi guys, good afternoon. We've got Zafri Zahid.
Hi Zafri. Yep.
Now this is one episode I couldn't miss. Wow.
Yes.
We got Andre Ng here. Jerky 9G Tronic noises.
Okay.
We got Lawrence Wong saying hi. Yes. HP says Tunjuk aja Sifu Thomas. Yep. Thomas, I think one day you must come and train the Horizon team on how to wash cars. I'll sign up.
I think better if the steps I do too many. I think everyone just go to Pro Nano. Put foam, remove foam.
Henry's sorry.
Henry Siu. Yeah.
Hi. So sorry, you're saying what?
No, I was saying like you see Thomas wash car, it's like an art now. He wash the car. The way he go and rub over the bonnet and
I'm
all that.
yeah. I'm a big
Wow.
fan of Thomas's AMSR
Yeah.
videos he makes. Very detailed. I think now the videos you can see that there's a lot of
Yeah.
sound and how the brushes go, and I think it makes you feel like
Yep.
you are there. Very engaging, Thomas. I actually love that videos a lot. Thank you so much for producing them.
The
You
reason
know?
I did ASMR because I want to share people why I like washing cars so much, and it's to capture those little things that makes car washing so exciting.
Yeah.
I know Bobby doesn't like it, but
Yes,
right,
yes.
I love doing
And,
it.
and also like you capture like little corners of the car, like this corner had this thing, little lines there, and this like gaps and all those things like really attract you. Con asks where to get best grade A watches. We don't do fake watches, only originals.
Yeah.
Too high.
Aaron asks, good evening, guys. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah.
Patricia Chin. Is Patricia the first female viewer here today? If you've got any other female participants here, please say hi. Want to hear from you. We've got
that's my missus,
Chin. Yeah, I know. I know that.
Must be full lah.
Hi, Jun Si Ho.
No,
I learned from you, my BMW, the rims, right, got double spokes, so I see you using those brushes, so I go and get one brush, now my rims is so much easier to clean because of the brush, thanks to you, Thomas.
Thomas, I bought the brush too after seeing your video.
To
it's
agitate
a phallic thing, It's taking something and sticking into holes, It's a phallic thing. Freudian slip.
We got
only men like to do these kind of things only.
We got the Sifu himself, Ivan Kong here. Ivan, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh,
Does Nathan have specs for the 1.8 compressor engine?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, so we're gonna go to now the question area now. Before we go in, let's do a quick intro to the show, and then we'll kick this day on. Hey guys, we're back. Before we go, I said Ivan, but I clicked on Con's comment. So Ivan said, "Hi guys, I have a mug also, so I also want to watch you guys." Yes, Ivan has a Merc. His Merc is the one car that he doesn't modify. It's stock standard Bioweb's car, and I think that's the whole idea of cars, right? Each car has got its thing. I think we all love Mercedes for a different reason, opposed to the same reason we love BMWs. And I think no one else is better than this than Thomas himself. He has nice BMWs and nice Mercedes, and I have a feeling that you're going to be a big Mercedes in your life coming soon, Thomas.
We'll see.
Yes. It might be a classic with manual.
I've always been, since we talk about Mercedes, interesting story. I bought the C43 because I think we'll talk more about it later on. But I bought the C43, I sold it for a BMW E30. But I've been always, ever since I got into classic, I always wanted to restore W123 because my grandfather had one, and a lot of fond memories for it. It's a 230E, and for me, it's a scary project for me because I think I'm going to break down and cry when I see one and I get into one. I've got the feels already, So actually doing it will be emotionally very overwhelming for me. But I want to do it. So I know I'm procrastinating about it, but I want to settle my E30. Then my E30 is done. Then the W123 will come to my life, Yeah, I want to restore it to the same color, same spec, everything to my grandfather's car. Yeah.
I actually asked Chris before. I said, Chris, should I get a W123 or 126 or to modify and to restore? And he said, he told me that you need to have that tenacity to persevere on, because you might think it's a cheap car to get into, but finding the parts, finding them, and having just that like what you say, like, that the tenacity of the wheel. Like, you have a car, the car there's a memory to it, isn't it? Your granddad's car,
Yep.
And for me, there isn't. I mean, I'm not attached to Mercedes in any way, form, fashion. I just love the way it looks, But if you could go back, what was the one memory about Mercedes which always stuck with you?
For me, it's just my grandfather. Just saying the word Mercedes is my grandfather. My grandfather loves it so much. I mean, he's a simple man, right? He's a businessman.
Yeah.
Pretty successful. He stays in a terrace house in Segamat, Johor, hometown. Terrace, no, a single story terrace house. And then, also it's a semi-D, but it's a single story semi-D. And then he got a W123, and then he has a Rolex watch. That's it. Everything else, the pagoda shirt, the singlet.
Yeah.
He refused to change that shirt all the time. And
for
me, it's the memory. And it's so funny that when I finally got my business, 1 year in, I got my BMW 1 Series. I took it down to Segamat. And my grandfather's pretty old and he doesn't drive anymore. Then he got to my car. I say, hey, simi cha I need lao ya, I need sui jia. He's saying like, this guy lousy, very small. Then my grandma scold him, hey, this is a BMW, Mercedes Teho, Mercedes the best. No Mercedes, no talk. You don't care what car you drive, it's not Mercedes, it's not his car. So for me, if I say Mercedes, I think my grandfather more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's amazing, the brand.
I think back in those days, that was really the Toki car.
The what?
It was really the Toki car back then. Toki.
I mean, I guess they were just the weight, the sheer presence, that the weight comes in the road, For me, the Mercedes was the seats was what captured me. I think of all the cars, the seats of Mercedes were so comfortable. They had almost like a spring, isn't it? Like a spring kind of setup, whatever. And you sit, you just jump. and I thought they were the most comfortable seats ever. There's nothing else come to the Mercedes. It's amazing. I mean, I'm sad. I think maybe most adults here now in Malaysia would not have experienced the old Mercedes seats, isn't it, Thomas?
Yes. It's very springy, right? The springy seats.
It's like spring on springs. I don't know how to describe it. How does it work? So weird setup. But guys, if you can go ask about test drive and just go and sit in a old Mercedes, and you'll be shocked how far advanced the seats were back then. Comfort. I mean, they weren't safe seats; they weren't for safety, but they're extremely comfortable. Amazing stuff.
But I'll tell you something: those who never sit in the old Mercedes, don't go so far back to the W123. Even the W124. Forget the seats.
Yes.
Just drive one, right? And you think like, hey, this car was manufactured in 1980s, and the build quality is insane in that car. It puts to shame some of the cars today, like ridiculous quality. And in the way the car rides over suspension, the way the chassis is put together, it feels so solid. Even the materials in the car feels great. And I ask anyone who's a car enthusiast whether you like Mercedes or not, go and feel a W124 because it's an engineering masterpiece if you ask me. Yeah.
Correct. Don't you feel almost that the 124 somehow was being sold as a luxury product, or whereas the more current Mercedes does feel a little more mass market?
Yeah, I feel. I mean, if you drive a Honda or you drive a Myvi and then you jump to a Mercedes, it's like, whoa, yeah, But if you've driven a W124 and you touch today's say W205, you can feel the difference, lah.
Of course,
yeah.
I mean, and think about
Thomas. I concur with you on that.
It's like you're talking about what 30 years old car, isn't it? 30-year-old interior, the 124. 30-year-old. I mean, as old as some of the guys who are here on the show, and it's perfect. In fact, I think the some Volvos do fall apart. Like the 850, the dashboard to fall apart because they're not meant for climate.
Yes.
But Mercedes, I mean, it's like the car can be the desert, can be in like Siberia, can be in Malaysia.
I'm not sure about that.
But the interior holds up. You know what I mean? The interior holds up.
Yeah,
there is some
some
level
of
Thana,
it's also the 123 and 124 that set my thinking about Mercedes also, just like Thomas. That was the time when I started to drive. Yeah, the 124, that time I was 17 or 18 years old. The first time I drive the 124 in the 80s. Those cars were brand new. It's like, wow, that was a game changer, for me, when I drove the car, because the car was so solid and unbelievable. It was like nothing I've driven before. The car just rides up all the bumps. Yeah. And as Thomas was saying, the seats on those cars. Yeah.
And to think, right, they had they didn't have like AI, they didn't have all this fancy technology, right? And yet they can still build something like that. It's mind-boggling, like how well these cars are built. It is to think that without all those things they can still do it. Wow.
Yes. And one thing about those Mercedes of the era, right? When you shut the door, wow. With that solid shut.
It's how much of that is because it's just solid, or how much of that is because it's just engineered for the sound?
I think it's a combination. I think it's combination.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's engineered
and all that.
to have the sound.
Yes.
Lovely,
and the thing is, it handled well, the car.
Oh yeah.
It handled well, the car.
It wasn't a car that you want to drive and like go toge and go woo.
Correct.
But if you need to make like adjustments, if you have emergency steer, the car can handle. It's ridiculous. I think safety was a big target for Mercedes as well when they built the W124.
And Mercedes is also a technological company lah. They were the one who invented the fuel injection into a car first. Direct injection. They were the first as well. With the SL Gullwing. With the Bosch injection back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also, your seat belts. When you put the seat belts, even today, the pre-tensioners. Mercedes is the one that invented it as well.
I noticed the pre-tensioners on the Mercedes are much more. Even the new ones are much more obvious.
Correct.
Opposed to like a Volvo or a BM, whatever. Audi's pre-tensioners are almost like you can't really feel it. You can't really feel it. But Mercedes is obviously it hugs you like, okay, I'm there now.
Yes. You are in the Mercedes. You just know that.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to
and also ABS. They invented.
ABS. Really?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. With Bosch. They started ABS with Bosch. And the 124 was the first car that had it. And the 126, the Mercedes 126.
I invented ABS myself too. I invented my ABS called Aku Brake Sendiri.
Yeah, Aku Brake Sendiri.
My first experience with ABS, it was at least quite scary, when I first got into a car with ABS. But I think anybody who's driven a car before, Aku Brake Sendiri, we know how to press the brakes. So we're going to go to the first segment of the show now. It's called CarTunes of the Day, whereby you pick a car and we go through the car and its tuning potentials and else before we go to the other part of the show. Today's car of the show, it's actually the Mercedes W205 C200. Quite common on the roads in Malaysia. You have a bit of experience with Thomas for this platform. What do you think about your C43, I guess?
Well, being a BMW driver and I like to drive spiritedly, I had a M235i. That was a remarkable chassis, just incredible chassis. And BMW is always so happy. Oh, straight six is the best, smooth. And I was one of them. I'm like, oh, straight six is the best. And then when I got into the C43, I'm like, V6 Mercedes won't make good engine. The first thing that struck me in this car is the engine, man. It pulls and pulls all the rev rings. It pull. It's so. The first thing that struck me is it's a remarkable V6. Like,
yes, very good.
Nothing else to say other than I'm extremely impressed by the V6. And then the BMW guy in me is like, at least it's still a straight six. No argument anymore, At least the N55 engine, right? Okay, my opinion, N55 engine, the revving is beautiful because it sounds nice, but the top end feels usually for me a bit out of breath, lah. Feels like you like the sound, but then it doesn't have the power. But the V6
pull all the way,
magnificent, man. Wow, pulls all the way. The only thing I didn't
what
like.
about the sound, Thomas?
Oh, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer the straight six sound. The C43 sound is nice, but it's a bit one-dimensional for me, right? But I would err towards more the BMW sound, but the C63 C43 is nowhere boring. It's not boring. It's fun. The engine is amazing, strong engine up and down. The only thing that I really give hats off to BMW above Mercedes is the way they tune the transmission, the automatic transmission. That is a bit slow lah. Okay, that's the C43 for me. And the thing that I'm super surprised with the C43, which I thought was going to be a deal breaker for me, was I drove this W205 coupe, W205 sedan. I hated the steering. The steering, like, don't know where it's pointing. There's no, I don't feel, I cannot, it's not intuitive, right? The C43 steering is not like the C300 or C200. Not the same. Didn't feel the same. Yeah, much more direct. Yeah. Sorry, I speak a lot.
No, it's okay. I mean,
it's okay. You are sharing your experience.
I guess, it's just different, isn't it? I mean, the BMW and Mercedes. I know you always talk about the M2, going back to an M2 and going back to a 2 Series and all that. And how's this car, Mike? I mean, the car of the day was the C200 205. What do you think about this car in terms of, I guess, pricing and handling and the whole package as you
sorry, I had to mention one more thing. That, sorry, BMW fanboys, I know you're going to hate me for this. But this is the truth, guys. The brakes on the C43 is excellent. The brakes is damn good. That's the thing that I was like, whoa, the brakes. It's so you can feel it. It's intuitive. And the best part is it stops without doesn't overheat like the BMW.
But that's one thing about Mercedes, they really spec their brakes very, very well in comparison to German counterparts.
Okay, let's go back to this one.
So this is obviously not, but I guess the C43 obviously is the high end. This is obviously like a base model, base spec car. How is this, I guess, for, I mean, your opinion, Mike, in terms of spec wise? I mean, is it up there? Is it good enough? Is it, and I guess people, this is more affordable options of the lot. What's your experience with this car?
Okay, my experience with this car is, the C200, it really sits in the middle of the range, but if you get it tuned, your car is similar to a C300, because when you get it tuned, you can actually get the torque up to 420 Newton meters. If you run on RON 97. So so you can buy a C200, and get it up to the C300 spec almost.
420, yeah, that's mad.
Yes, 420. Yes, that's a lot more torque, 120% more torque. Yeah,
wow. I guess that shows how much over-engineered are the cars,
Yes, correct.
As Tom was saying, the engines just rev all the way, the power's there. And I guess you are trying to steal some of the power back.
Yes, because what happens is, the engine is similar actually to the C250. Similar engines. They just detune it. They just detune it. So if you just unleash the power, basically you are C250 levels and above.
So that definitely a bargain of the day. So that's our segment of the cartoon of the day. Go and check it out. I think there are options like this are, I guess, easy to buy, cheap. You can't lose money on it.
and improve the throttle response, and also makes your gear shift smoother. So you get a lot of pluses.
I'll add one more thing extra, which most people won't think about when they looking at the CKD W205 or the C200, right? The paint job, the paint that they use in Malaysia ones, the CKD is very good. Excellent paint. It's easy to correct. So if you get if you in the used market, if the car a little bit scratches, so marks there, it's easy to correct. So that's something I'm quite impressed with Mercedes. That every time we got a Mercedes and then we polish it, it's easy.
Yeah. I think in the Pekan plant, where the car is made, the way they apply the paint and all that is very good.
Yes. So that is a bonus.
Very good paint quality. Very good paint quality.
Good bonus. So that's something that most people don't talk about, but I will put it out there. If you're looking for W205, most of them, the paint is pretty okay. But of course, depending on the previous owner,
I think I agree with you. I think a base level entry Mercedes has better paint than, sorry to say, a base level like a 2 Series BMW. I mean, the paint wise, I'm just saying. I've seen the paint person. I wasn't impressed with the paint job, and I think it's to do with the factory and how because they all CKDs. You can correct them, but just the way they are. Okay, that's our first word of the day. We're going to go to again our intro again, quick break, and we'll come back and we're going to answer some questions and talk about Mercedes as what we showed before. Welcome back, guys. Before we go, can we answer some questions from people? Zafri Zaman asked Thomas, do you have a detailing shop? Where is it?
Nope, I don't have a detailing shop. I have a shop for myself only. I have a trolley. I have a trolley and I put everything in it. And then every time I go down to my car park to wash, people think that I'm one of the the janitors. I don't have a detailing shop. No.
It's interesting talking about, I guess, dream cars. We've got our friend Con says his dream car is a Mercedes-Benz 600, and we know how Con likes to aim high. What is your dream car, Thomas? I think I know the answer already, but what is your dream car? Mercedes.
My dream car, dream Mercedes.
Yeah, dream Mercedes.
I think it sounds really weird, but we talked about this before last time. But my dream Mercedes is W123. I want one. There's no question about it. I really want one in my garage. Because it's my grandpa's spirit. Because I became an entrepreneur because I think I spent so much time with him. I got influenced by him. So yes, a W123. But if I want a modern Mercedes, the really unattainable for me, I feel it's like really far up. But I think the SLS.
Wow.
I know it's not the best looking car. A lot of people complain about the get-reg gearbox. It's not fantastic, the twin clutch, but the silhouette is like wow. Okay. Then the third one would be a AMG GTS or GTC. The front is so beautiful, so muscular. Wow, it's just beautiful. But SLS will be my dream Mercedes.
So Mike, what's your dream Mercedes? Old or new?
Old or new? My dream Mercedes. I will go with the SLS as well. The SLS.
Wow, going.
Yes, the Calvin. It's just fabulous. And then that V8 engine that V8 engine, Mercedes V8 engines.
Naturally aspirated.
Yes. Nothing beats that.
Give me my beer.
All right. So if you talk about classic, I would go with 124 coupe .
Wow.
Oh yeah,
beautiful car, classy. Yeah. And Thomas, I do not know whether you all remember or not, but the 124, the throttle, weighs a ton on the car.
You remember? I can't recall that.
Can't recall that. Really? You got to press very hard, to full throttle the car. Interesting. Yes. Yeah. So those were the 124 days.
For me, modern will be AMG GT. Obviously, you know why, it's a fantastic V8 and all that. Older one will be 190E. Both cars that they are not to say my dream, not a dream car. It's like cars that I actually want to get, cars that I like, and I think I might most likely will get in my near future. Next question we got from Zafri. Mike, I think you like to know, a stranger came up to me yesterday and asked if my Mercedes was one of the Merc tuned by DNA Tuning, and I said yes, and planned to bring his Mazda 6 H2. So yeah, you got a customer coming through to you.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Nice. Thank you.
Okay. And then he said, I'm not sure what this post is about. Do you know what this post is about? Horizon about the S-Class Cabriolet. Was there a post?
Yes, recently there's a video.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then Theophilus Chin says, I remember 123's pull type handbrakes engaged by pulling a lever that's left to the footrest. Yeah.
Yes.
My Ford Everest has got a left type pull thing anyway. So, but the Mercedes has got that you press the accelerator, the depressor pedal, isn't it, to unrelease?
There's a pedal on the
Yes.
left side.
Yeah, pedal. Yeah.
Yes. No, that's like very American style, that one. Yeah. Yeah. Now remind me of the 123, the handbrake. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very fulfilling to pull and then turn and
Yes. And release it. Yeah.
And then
but the last I can remember when I was a child, the Mercedes I used to set in, was actually the Genting taxis, back in its day.
Oh yes,
seriously, in the 70s. You go up to Genting in the Genting taxi, which is a Mercedes.
Then thereafter it became the Nissan Sunny, isn't it? Thereafter the older ones were still the Mercedes.
Sentra.
Then the more common one was the Nissan Sentra.
Sentra after that.
Correct.
Yes. I think Sunny first. You're right.
Yeah. I have to be honest. I have a funny story about gambling in Genting, but I don't want to say it here. We got the story was
against you.
We got it. I used to be very young when I go to Genting. I was very legally young enough to go Genting. I'll go with my friend as his escort, And back then you got to go Genting in coat and suit and tie. It's a requirement. That's how old I've been Genting for. And we used to go there and tell my friend, I said, whatever happens, make sure you're going to find to come back. So we would keep 50 ringgit aside to pay for the taxi fare to come down. So that was the limit. That was the gambling limit.
Taxi fare home. Oh man.
And then we've got questions about notice about the sound of the Mercedes door close. My girlfriend complains that the 207 door is heavier compared to 205. Is it heavy, or is it just engine heavy?
I think that one is because it's two-door. Yeah. But those are frameless windows, on the W205, 207. I think because it's longer, and then it has the airbags inside, I think. That's why.
I guess one of the white elephant in the room is how, I guess, you have cars that are going the whole M route, and with the Mercedes, the whole AMG line. Some are very harsh, all that. What's your take on that whole subject, Thomas? There are cars that are not sporty cars trying to be sporty. They are they're low end. I mean, like a A series car, A200 or A250. Which has got very hard suspensions. But I guess the people are asking for it, isn't it? It's not really Mercedes. People are asking for those things. I mean, you spoke the other day about how, I think was it you or some Ivan was saying, but 90% of all BMW sold in Malaysia are sold with the M Sport package. Ivan. Demand is for that. People are demanding the kind of handling from cars. And where else, the Mercedes to be that whole lofty, nice experience. That's the signature of Mercedes. But the people are asking for things that are more sporty in nature because they compare BMW and Mercedes, whereas they are not the same product.
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
I think in the end of the day, we have to look at them as businesses. Sometimes we can't enthusiast with all these expectations of a car manufacturer, but at the end of the day, they have to make money. They have to please the shareholder. They have to make profit. They have to feed people. There are people working. So it is most people I think who jump into A class or say A class, for example, they are probably first time buying a Mercedes, right? So if they jump into the car and then their friend who is driving a Honda Accord can go faster than them, hey, what the hell, man? Come on, man. Hey, I got a Marsili. Hey, what we Marsili? Honda, Anikin, right? So I think it must give them. It must feel special with the car, and I think it's a business. I respect Mercedes for trying to create a package that matches the market. And in fact, you talk about A class, right? I think A class is aesthetically, right? They've done a great job in creating a good-looking car. I was, the first time they had the B class and A class, the O one is like, oh my god, like, But when they came the A class, I was like, wow, like it's aesthetically good looking, and I think it robbed a lot of sales, man. People were just buying it like hotcakes everywhere, So I'm not a big fan on the idea that A class have this really crashy suspension. In fact, sorry guys who own A class out there, I somehow always feel the A class I cannot tahan. I cannot tahan the car. Every time I jump in A class, then I jump into a Golf, and I'm like, why? The only thing that's going for Mercedes is the badge.
The badge.
Sorry.
But in their defense,
Ayo.
but in their defense for Mercedes, the newer A classes are better. The older ones, the first gen was like really, really harsh.
Yes.
Yeah.
The A45, on the other hand, the first A class, of course, compared to Golf R, the Golf R handles better lah. But it's just like what Chris Harris said in his review. When you push the A45 fast and hard, you start to appreciate the A45.
Yes.
But that one I feel like, wow, and it's like, this is a 2 liter. Like, I tell you one thing Mercedes does in the AMG models, right? The engines are just strong engines. That's what I respect, man. I respect,
and Yes, because I've been tuning these cars a lot, the A45s. And I tell you, this particular engine, it's just fabulous, the engine. The way it's engineered, really over engineered. Really over engineered.
I drive the A45
amazing,
and then I jump into I drive my friend's A45, I jump back to my M235i, right? And then I keep revving my M235, I'm like, I keep telling him, I try to come up with all these stories to tell myself, Thomas, you got 2 more cylinders. Trying to calm myself down. But you cannot deny it. It's the A45, right? When it came out, it was wow, it's just not the numbers. The way it delivers power is visceral, man.
Yes. And up to today, it's still the champ, the latest model, over 200 horsepower per liter. Production engine.
My God. It's amazing feat to do that.
Amazing, over 210 horsepower per liter from a 4-cylinder. And Thomas, since you have driven them at length, the engine feels so strong, right? Even though you rev, the engine is, feels so solid, beautiful engine.
Yeah. Just that really a lot of things in the A45, I wish they did better, like the gearbox tuning, suspension tuning. I wish they put more effort into those things. It's like they took all their quota for for brilliance and they put it into the engine and then say, okay, job done. Let's go get some beer. Yeah. But I think if they paid more attention to the tuning, and this is what I like about BMWs is that they do a lot of tuning to refine the gearbox with the engine. Porsche does it a lot as well. I think if they take even 80% of those of like BMW or Porsches like tuning, I think the A45 will be a brilliant car to drive.
Which part you feel was lacking on the A45, especially in the engine and the gearbox side?
It's not that intuitive, in the way it shifts. The dual clutch is not as fast as you feel. I find the Volkswagen's DSG is way better. The Audi and Volkswagen's their DSG much better lah. I think that's the part I felt a bit lacking. Yeah.
But we can fix that, Thomas. That's where we come in. We can actually fix those parts. Because even at parking speeds, you feel that the gearbox is like crazy, right? The throttle and the gearbox, there's nothing.
I don't recall driving it slow.
And also laggy lah. The car is very laggy.
Yes. But once you get the pace of it, and then you're in a tollgate road, and then you're pushing it, it's like my God, like this is a 2-liter hatchback, feel I'm driving a
But I guess all the engineering actually went into building that strong engine. So I guess the final details of the engine tuning, gearbox tuning, and the suspension tuning. That was a bit lacking, So
I also think that maybe they didn't want it to behave like, I guess what people expect. They wanted to be different. By being different, kind of made it like not what we expect from the car, because we know the car is more powerful. Because I think that whole like a DC gearbox just like snap, it gives you that whole change. Whereas I think the way they wanted their ideology or what to be like, hey, I want you to drive and press. It's a fast little hatchback, but that's what it is. It's not meant to be a sports car. It's not meant to be a it's not meant to be a mad killer.
You can put a lot of sports car to shame, or you can really give sports car a run for his money, man. I tell you, if I see A45 coming in my Spider, I say you go. You go.
Yeah, but I respect Mercedes and the AMG for coming up with this car.
Yes, it's a
benchmark.
What Thana was saying, earlier about what do you think about them going very stiff and stuff like that. This is what back in days, bucket seat, all these are not Mercedes kind of thing, right? But this is what the market wants. I think they have to do something different. And I like Mike, I respect them for that. I don't love them for that, but I respect them for that.
Yes. Correct.
And if anybody knows about creating market segmentation, is them lah. They have like how many segments of market you can think of. Everything's covered. Question for Mike on the internals. So the 200, 250, and 300. Are there any internal differences between the lot?
The 200 and 250, no lah, but the C300, there's a bit of differences on the compression ratio and the turbos There is a difference there lah.
So Derek talks about so much talk on the C200 tuned. Yes, and I think this is the misconception. People think that BMW is a sporty car, Mercedes is not. Actually, they all have got their characteristics, and you can tune them to what you want. And Mercedes engines are actually as reliable, if not more reliable than some other continental cars. They are actually quite good,
Yes, I think more reliable than our usual other specs.
I don't want to say it, but I think.
I'll help you. I'll start with the word A. A. I don't know what brand.
And then don't know what
recently Olympic happened. So you look Olympic.
If you think about it, not the current era, but Audis are like Liverpool. We're always faithful. Whenever we are down or up. Faithful. So Joseph asked how much to mod T200. Please contact Mike. We'll give the number later, and you can talk to us about those things. Tuning up a C200 brake shock system. Well, I think you can tune them up. But it's all optional. But as what Mike said, I think the Mercedes comes with good brakes stock. It's more of how you drive. If you drive like a maniac, then maybe you need to upgrade your brakes. All good, guys.
And then on the suspension part, we can do it as well, with the KWSD system. Definitely upgrade your handling and ride.
I'm so looking forward to do my ST on the Porsche, Thomas. Please. That's the plan, Thomas. Thinking about Thomas, my Boxster, I'm going to ST.
Huh? You're going to what?
I'm going to consider
KWSD.
On the Boxster.
On the Boxster, yes.
That'll be interesting, man. Okay, so a question from Max Low here. Some say mapping a 250 1.8L will have tendency to cause the turbo oil leak. Myth? Question mark.
Yeah, that's a myth lah. But then it's also how the tuning is. So if you are tuning the car, and then pushing your turbo to the last 100% of the turbo capability, what you're going to do is the turbo will get so hot, that it actually becomes a heat generator rather than a power generator, because the turbo is spinning so hot, so that the turbo become inefficient. So that is something we're going to remember. That's why even our tunes, our boost is not always very high.
This is
I
an
think
interesting
it's
one.
important on that front, right? We talk about this.
Yes.
I think generally when we tune our cars, or even if you don't tune your cars, right? I think good drivers understand a little bit of engineering of the car, and you
Yep.
need to, our cars are machines, and machines have limits, and it's good to know the
Yes.
limits of
Correct.
it. And tekan all the way, and you're asking for it, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. If you want to
I
kill
think-
anything, you can kill anything.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike
Some
always
people came
states
back
this
with,
about
bro, my C43 sensor melted. I'm like, bro, like how
How?
fast? How hard is the your car? Your sensor also melted, bro. I'm like, whoa.
Mike
thought I was
talks
driving
about-
fast. I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike talks about mechanical sympathy, lah. So I think that's the word. Is
Oh, yeah,
mechanical
yeah.
sympathy. And I guess also it's like, I mean, good drivers or car owners
Yep.
can hear the car, like the tone of which the car whines is different. They know something's wrong with the car. They know already. So I think you need to be in tune with the car's noise to know something is wrong, lah.
Yes. And Max, with the 1.8 liter engine, if you get it tuned right, it lasts a long time. The bugbear of the engine, I think in one or two of our previous episodes, we did talk about is the chain, and the camshaft gear. Once you reach 80 to 120,000 kilometers on the CGI engine, get your chain and the sprocket change. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can hear it when in the morning starts, you can hear the chain. Yeah. So once you hear it, go and get it changed. Yeah.
Okay.
Those
So we're
engines.
gonna go to a quick commercial break from Evo Club Insurance because obviously
Okay.
we are tied with them. We'll come back more questions for our handsome Thomas Yap here.
Yep.
For more.
Wow, no short hair. Already.
Tie my hair.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less. A lot
Turn
less.
up!
Wow.
Wow.
That commercial sends chills up my spine, lah.
Yeah, me too, man.
The Schumacher.
SLS
and,
and Michael Schumacher. Whoa. What a car, the SLS.
I guess that simple why SLS. Like, I think cars very hard to be like it speaks of era, isn't it? Of greatness of Mercedes, what they did, you know. It's just so ballsy. I mean, like I think cars from now on they make is gonna be electric, it's gonna be hybrid.
Yep.
I mean, guys, this is it. Like this is the pinnacle.
And one more thing, yeah, AMG without the V8 in the future.
They can make it as fast as they want to.
Yes.
2 seconds, whatever the car can make it, but it would not
Yep.
be that like. You know the
Safe.
sound it made. It's not when going to the
Yes.
tunnel.
I'm pretty sure it's remarkable. I'm pretty sure the future is remarkable, but you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna miss it, right? You're gonna miss
Yes.
AMG putting off stunts like this, you know, like
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, imagine if today they do the commercial today. How would they get the approval to make the commercial today? Think about it. They go like, oh, are you promoting carbon gases? Are you promoting, what are you promoting? What are you promoting being dangerous? There'll be a lot of red tapes involved, and yeah, it speaks lah. It speaks. I wish you get it, Thomas. Hats up to you.
Yeah, I love the AMG SLS so much. I in my mind I was thinking, okay, one day, because it's cash buy, right? Because SLS now is beyond the time. If I have an opportunity, let's say I have like 1 million ringgit, right? Okay, most people would think like buying a Ferrari, buying a 458 or something like that, right? I would, the only car I would think of is the SLS. There's I won't even look at a Ferrari. And yes, it's not the fastest car, but it's that it looks.
Yes.
I mean, like there is Mercedes and there is AMG. This is an AMG. It's not a Mercedes, it's an AMG, you know. Yeah.
And SLS.
This is a proper AMG.
And that door, that galving door.
You know, if I have a little indoor garage myself, you know, I would keep the car door open and then just drink coffee in the morning, look at the car. You know?
That's the reason to buy a big house. Now I guess we got to go back to the real world of a common man Mercedes. And I think Korn says it well. I think at the end of the day, it's still a Mercedes. We're still on the whole.
In China, they call it Benz. They won't call it
Really?
Benz.
Oh, it's funny, yeah. Correct. I mean, even in India, it's a Benz.
Yep.
It's a Benz, right? Yep.
They don't call it a Mercedes; they call it a Benz.
Yep.
So yeah, there must be a thing with that. Jason Wong asked a question. This is from Mike, obviously. M274 engine in the Skyline is unreliable. I don't know. It's a Skyline question. Sorry.
I mean, basically, it's the same engine. Yeah. It's basically the same engine. Yeah. The M274, which is in the C200, your E-Class, all the 4-cylinder engines. Basically, the engine is reliable. The only issue where you find with the engine is that one of the sensors are inside the engine that actually checks the oil pressure, and that always gives an issue. And you have to drop the oil sump to do that. Other than that, that engine is good. It's a very reliable engine. The only issue is just that the engine oil sensor, that's all. The pressure sensor. That's the only bugbear of that 270 and 274 engine.
Going up the, I guess the food chain, you got your A-Class, and then out of the top, you got the S-Class. And you've driven both, isn't it? I think you've driven the 7 Series and the S-Class. What's your pick of the two, Thomas? You got to go with a Mercedes.
Which what?
A 7 Series and an S-Class.
Yeah.
What would be your pick of the two?
I never driven. Okay, I've driven the F01. And I also driven the previous gen S-Class as well. Yes, I did. My mentor had one, and then he always made me drive it. And just this big car is too big for me. I don't like big cars. I generally like cars that are small. So I can say I don't enjoy any one of them, But when I travel to India a lot, I always ask to be picked up in either a 7 Series or S-Class. Because I know after long flights, I go straight to meeting. I just need a space of like comfort, in my car. My experience with these two cars is as a passenger in the rear seat. I prefer the 7 Series. Not because of the ride quality, so on and so forth, because the air suspension in S-Class is brilliant, and of course Indian roads, and especially in Mumbai, you need a proper suspension and damping. Okay, but I find the ambient of a S-Class not as relaxing as a 7 Series, because 7 Series is a bit more straight lines, it's a bit more hard. Yeah, so the ambience feels more less
Very
distracting.
Teutonic, is it? Very
So wait,
Teutonic.
so I think the 7
like
Series.
it.
So I think the 7 Series is more clinical. Is that the word looking for?
Okay, is the best one of, you ask me, the best one is Audi's. Audi's, the interior is sterile, which I love.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
a lot of people don't understand is that when you go on a flight and you're going from flight to flight and stuff, the last thing you want is distraction. You want to just detox, right? Which is why the Rolls Royce is brilliant in that. Rolls Royce is brilliant at that. I never ride in one before, but when I review it, I was like, okay, I get the idea what it does. But don't understand. They're like, oh, can you give me something more fancy and so on and so forth? I guess that's what the market wants. But in reality, what a back seat passenger want is a calming place to relax, right? And I think in that perspective, the 7 Series feels more. It's not so shouty. It's more straight.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
So it feels more easy to relax in a 7 Series, where the S-Class, for me, has the round thing here and there. It's just for me feels a little bit less. But the seats in the S-Class, you lie down, like business class seats.
It's funny because I always felt the S-Class have the better seats, but one of the reasons why I haven't got a modern Mercedes to drive, I'm annoyed with. I mean, this is again personal issue. I don't like the screen because I get personally I get disturbed by screens because I don't like to look at screens and drive them, and I find for me in my character it's disturbing. Some people are okay with it, but for me it's a bit disturbing, distracting. The new screens, and which is why I like the C7 because you can fold away the Audi CS screens and you can drive it without screens. But I can see now from a passenger point of view, having that emptied out, it's more relaxing. It's just like an Audi.
Yes.
Sorry, Mike, you're saying?
I don't know. I lost my chain already. But anyways, I think with Mercedes, is with their current trend, everything is very trendy and all that. So maybe sometimes it's very shouty and too much. That's why
you have to break up from the uncle feel. They have to break up from it.
They're trying to
last time it was very uncle. Now it's
very uncle. Opposite, correct?
Yes, they just went directly opposite. But then if you look back at it, it has worked for them. Because
yes, correct. They look more. The interior is more modern compared to the BMW.
Yes,
that's for a fact.
Right.
Evolve. They have to evolve.
Yes.
They have to.
And what do you feel about ambient lighting? Sorry. Ambient lighting. High five.
Because ambient light again, like ambient lighting for me is, I don't know, especially at night, right? It's kind of like it's very like sharp. It's very like
in your face.
Yeah. That's my opinion. I'm not a big fan of ambient lighting. And anyone in comments can let me know if you like it, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Even my E92, the center dash at night, also I turn it off.
I'm the person who tapes my home aircon on light because I find it distracting at night. So I actually tape it off to close it. so I totally mean.
And that's why I feel like when it comes to interior like setup, a lot of people say Audi I call it sterile. Audi is sterile.
Yes, I
agree.
agree.
I love the Audi's interior because it's not distracting. It lets you do what you do best because you need to drive, right? And always on picture is like, oh, who got a cooler interior? But I tell you, I like Audi's one a lot. Volkswagen as well.
And then so question you were saying, Mike, you want to pick a question?
I just wanted to show a question here. Yeah. See, one thing for sure, the M274 and 264 engine sound not very nice.
Yeah.
That's how Mercedes is lah. Their 4-cylinder engines doesn't really sound very nice lah.
They don't put effort in doing it.
Yeah. I think if you talk about 4 cylinders, best engine sounding one has to be. But then if you say no good, but the AMG A45 very good. That one sounds perfect. So, but then the best sounding one, I think 4-cylinder has to go to Volkswagen Audi group. The engine always sounds solid. Then after that, it's only BMWs. Yeah.
They have to lah. For Volkswagen, the difference is that's their bread, their butter, So they must better do it properly,
Yes.
They can't get away with a batch, They have to make it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's their bread and butter engines.
Yeah. E8, the E8 888. Yeah, solid
engine. Yeah.
In Con, we're talking about, I guess, the interior again. Con says Rachel's words Instagrammable. Yes, I think Mercedes interior is very Instagrammable.
Yeah,
Lights and colors.
Yep.
Charlie Lu says very bling interiors. They've gone overboard with the ambient lighting. And then Derek says, can we off the ambient? I think you can make it lowest as possible. You can off it, but it's a package, I guess. You got to, if you're going to the car, you got to accept it as a package and embrace the whole thing. If not, it looks a bit funny. Anything you want to pick up as a question here? We got Jason who actually works with Mercedes. Thank you so much for joining us. You got any questions for Mercedes? Can talk to Jason here. Customer came in with a newer 7 Series and S400H. He said 7 Series always in the workshop and never buy a 7 Series again. I think it's luck lah.
Yes.
Yeah. My friend's father has a 7 Series. Totally fine, but I guess it's to each their own, 7 Series to me, it's funny. I think it feels more like a driver's car when it's not supposed to be a driver's car, but it feels more engaging to drive a 7 Series opposed to a S-Class. Do you share that?
Best limo, best big size limo to drive the Quattroporte.
Yeah.
It's drivers, but the Quattroporte, they don't give you comfortable suspension, everything, but you can feel the car when the car oversteer. You can feel it. Quite fun. Yeah.
It's telling you everything and you hear everything, right?
Yeah, but I pity the real passengers So yes, 7 Series is driver's car, but you haven't driven a Quattroporte, then you say 7 Series is very tame already.
But I think the most understated car in that class is actually the A8 lah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The A8. The A8 is the car that does everything so well, that it doesn't distract you in any way lah.
Right. It's just like go straight, flat out.
Yes.
And then you're like,
drive
what's
safely.
happening? It's just going straight, and that's it.
Yes.
No muss, no fuss. It's just.
Yeah, unfortunately, we car companies have to cater for desirability. Yes, but I think that I don't know lah. I on a personal level, if I have a limo, be driven around, I have different needs lah. I would love like for me, I fly to India, for example. I got different needs. I need a car that takes care of me, and makes me feel calm inside there, Yeah. So to each their own.
I don't know. I think today, Mercedes is a bit like the Louis Vuitton, in the leather industry. Yeah. That's what it is. Mercedes. Yeah. They've done it so nice.
Tapao. A-class
tapao everything.
Tapao everything. Anti buy, MLM buy, insurance buy, real estate buy,
Yeah. That's why the 1 Series kena tapao like crazy.
1 Series, the look like only the mother can love only. Yeah. Cannot lah. You must in today's world, design is so important. You must be able to see what people like. It's no longer a luxury. It's something that you need to do. And look, even the X50s, the X70 from Proton, they look good, man.
Yes.
I think that's where the BMW has got a bit lazy in interior design. They haven't gone and updated it. It's like every Mercedes looks the same. BMW is the same interior, but the Mercedes is always evolving. The new MBX coming out. It's just amazing interior. I think it fits for the current generation. Definitely, I think they are setting the benchmark on what car interior.
Got a question that I want to ask.
Which one?
Jason Tan, which classic mode will appreciate?
Okay. Good question.
Okay, I think I don't know lah. This is don't please use my words and then you go and buy and then say
if you say sure got one, Thomas.
No.
I swear go
I think
Can you quietly tell everybody else?
Maybe he bought already. Maybe he bought already.
Oh, that's why.
I think a car that will slowly and steady appreciate in desirability. I don't know about value. This one is a bit 50-50 because there's so many of them around. I think W123s will go up in value. They're already going up already, but the challenge is that there's so many of them around. So maybe it won't have that fast upward. But I think in the next 10 years, 15 years, yes, because I think a lot of people will miss their fathers, their grandfathers. That is a nostalgic connection to their parents, right, or their grandparents. So for that, I think a W123 will appreciate in such value. But I think another one that is a remarkable, good-looking car that might go up in value is the C124, the coupe of the 124.
Yes.
Oh my god, excellent! Or the S126, you can get that one even better. Oh,
Yes.
SEC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or gangster car. I think myself like,
380
one day if I have
560.
a SEC 300, black out everything, white body, with the big dish rims, the AMG rims, and then you roll up to a hotel in a black suit, like mafia, man.
I remember seeing W123 like 20 years ago, and the car had like a 19-inch or 20-inch or a really big rim line on the car, and was lowered, and I was looking like, wow, this is the most gangster thing ever. Looking at really, oh my god, I was like blown away. It was in Sentul. It was an Indian guy driving it. I was like, oh, this guy is gangster, gangster, real gangster.
Yeah. What about you? What's
me?
Yeah. What about you?
I think what's classic in Malaysia, or what's appreciated in Malaysia, may not be the same as what we are appreciating overseas. I think in Malaysia, the 190E being a smaller engine, small form factor, easy to drive. I think it's lighter, good handling car. That car is the one I think we'll appreciate more, because if you can buy it, can keep it, you don't drive it long time, you can like the E30, for example. One of the things about E30 was the fact that all the BM of the era was a bit heavier and a bit clunky, and the E30 was nice and spirited and fun to drive, you see. And even if you don't use it much, keep it, park it, it's fine, I think in that sense, the 180E will fit that space. Unfortunately, I can't find any for sale that is in good condition. I'm looking for one. So if you want to buy 190E manual, you can buy it, guys. Buy it, keep it. I think it's a sure winner.
Right?
Yeah.
Mike, your take?
For me, it will be the 124 coupe lah.
Ooh.
You can put a bit closer your
The mic.
The 124. Yeah, the 124.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 124 coupe lah. The 300 twin cam one lah. Yeah, that would be beautiful lah. Yeah. Because because that was the era when I started to come out and work, and really,
I think Mike drives this. He's the uncle, the playboy uncle.
He's already. You're halfway there, Mike.
Yeah, because actually I got 3 2-doors in the house, now. My 4-door is the Citroen and the GTI. The rest are all 2-door cars already, actually.
Someone with a comment here, R129 will appreciate. I think it's already appreciated. I think the prices are
R129, for sure.
Expensive now.
Yeah,
it's already gone up. Yeah,
so beautiful, the R129. I love the lines.
Yeah, very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you bring that up picture?
Yeah.
Can you someone bring a picture of the R129? Let me bring it up and just show you how beautiful this is. It's a car that I think like 10, 15 years ago, I wanted to buy this car, but I couldn't afford it because I couldn't get loan for the car. so I couldn't afford it then. And even now, I don't think it's hard for me to justify getting one. But yeah, look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
Beautiful, strong, muscular lines. Oh, man.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Ooh la la. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
It's so classy.
And the build quality.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's just classy feel to it. I don't know how to explain. It's not shouty. It's just class.
Very elegant. A very elegant car.
It embodies what a Mercedes is like. It's timeless. It's sleek designs. It speaks reliability. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I didn't quite like the someone said R230. I didn't like the R230s too. The round lights kind of killed it for me. Yeah, this one more sexy for me. Yeah, more sexy. This is way more sexy.
Yeah, this is classic Mercedes lah. This one is.
The angular designs fit the lights. I think when you try to put, let's say, the void lens that are straight, and then you make like a round light, it's somehow like in between, lost a bit, like, you know.
Yeah, even this one is already a facelifted model. This one, I think.
Even the pre-facelift also good looking.
Yeah, pre-facelift also beautiful car. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
300 CE is another one which is also my favorite, like, you know.
Yeah, the 300 CE definitely.
Anybody, you guys remember the 300 CE and the robotic arms? That's what I remember for the arms, like, when I was young, like, you know. I used to go and I was like, wow, this is so chunky, so modern. It comes up to greet you.
We talk about Mercedes so far. I know it's not nothing to do with classic, but I was talking to you guys. Suddenly it just struck me, you know, just the last version, the last 2012 circa, you know, that time, right? Those cars, they only started to go with this crazy modern, you know, like very edgy design, you know, the interior exterior. It was only then they started to make it very special, and which kind of like make me, for me, I feel there's something to it's worth talking about, is that AMGs used to look like sleeper cars. You know, the E-Class, the E63, the C40, the C63. You cannot tell it apart from my neighbor downstairs, you have an E63. You know, I never once even look at the car twice. There's the 2 gens before. And then when you look at it closely, why the brake caliper so big? There's like AMG, you know, the E63. That's what makes a beautiful AMG, right? But then today you need to have a car that shows that it's, you know, expensive. You know, like it has to differentiate himself very obviously.
Yes.
I miss that. No, I miss the fact that you can drive this car, like uncle's hair, then the GTI comes, then you bye bye.
Yes. This actually reminds me, you know, of the 204, the C63 as well. The 204 version. It looks exactly like your C200 or C180. Yeah. Thana, if you can look for it, if you can look for the picture, C63, you know, the 204 model.
Okay, there are small styling cues, but
yes,
if you won't look at it twice, you won't know. You cannot.
Yes.
You don't know. Yeah.
The only cue, actually, if you got to look underneath the tire, is just wider at the back.
Yeah.
Other than that, the car looks exactly like your other 204. Yeah. Except when you start it up, you know.
Onwards, they started to make it so different, you know, with the
flamboyant already,
you know. They need to show that it's an AMG, but again, it's something that the market wants. You know, if I buy a car, I want people to know that it's something special. You know, whereas back in the day, is that when I buy AMG, I like the fact that no one knows it's special.
Yeah. Only people in the know will know lah. Yeah. And then also you got to go searching for it. That also you got to go searching for it lah. Oh, we lost Thana there for a second.
The exhaust and the rear lah. But from the front, I think the E63 is even more stealthy than the C lah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the side profile, you can hardly see it actually. But this is really shouty, because I remember the last one I tuned doesn't have all the, you know, all the diffuser and all that.
Yeah.
Really very understated car.
Yep, the E63, look at that, man. Like,
yes.
Like, especially if it's painted black color, you're like, okay, what's that? Or silver, uncle color, uncle color.
Yeah,
silver,
looks like your 200E.
My uncle's hair.
Oh.
Tapao you upside down.
I think we'll never go back to this era of sleeper cars.
No, it won't.
You won't have it anymore. Now, if you pay a price, you demand the price to be shown in the look of the car.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, it's just that the E-Class also lah. You know, after the 211, everything changed. After the 211 model.
Every era is every era.
But also one thing, I noticed is that you know, the people that used to engineer the ride and handling for Mercedes during the 80s and the 90s, you know, it's no longer in the company lah. because the way the car drives and rides is very different. The new generation of Mercedes. Yeah, it doesn't have
The
that.
latest the W205 C63 for me felt very scary to drive.
It scares you like hell, right?
Scary,
I don't know how to say it. Just I'm hesitant driving the car, and I don't feel that with the M4 or M3. Like that's very you don't feel that hesitant.
Is it because they're getting heavier and heavier day by day?
I don't know how to say it. It's just the way the car is tuned. The M3 M4s. I know I can ask Uncle Mike. But I don't feel that confident with a C63. C63 is just like, oh, where am I going to spin out? It's just you're constantly worried where you're going to spin out. Yeah, it's the way the power delivery is very very fierce and tenacious. Like where the C43 is the M4 M3 is a bit easier to tame the car.
Yeah, the car is very edgy lah. You dare not simply throttle the car.
Yeah.
Just
So
like yes. Just like what? Just like the older Porsches lah. The old 911s.
Oh, that one they say you. That one
Widowmaker.
Widowmaker.
But that's part of the fun, isn't it? You have a car that that could kill you.
I never drive it. Air-cooled Porsche, but I think those will be probably more scary than the C63 lah. I'm pretty sure lah. Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the weight balance is a bit off. So
definitely,
the engine is so heavy and this, and I've never done also. All I know was I've driven them on Gran Turismo and all the video games ever in my childhood. As a child playing video games on the Porsche, I always spin lah, So so I'm sure one day I will get a chance to drive.
I mean, you have to take engineering again. I think good drivers need to have some sort of engineering powers, and powers and respect lah. I mean, if you think about it, all your mass is behind. So if you oversteer, it's going to fly out like a madman lah. It's just something we got to consider. Yeah.
Yes.
And front engine cars, engine being sitting on top of the, near to the front wheels. Of course, your braking and your cornering is easier. We must take in, essence all this lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad car. It's just you have to know you have to respect the physics of the car.
Yeah. The characteristics of the car and respect the car.
Yeah.
I got a long comment from Andre Ng here. I would say before sensual purity came in, sensual purity, the looks of the W211 is already called for some aggression. Wow. Even today, people are installing EC3 bumper on their regular E240, but to me, the sharp-looking bumper of EC3 kind of looks like an oddball on the rounded W201. Even the R230 facelift received a very boxy front that doesn't seem like it belonged there, but the R230 still looks good.
Yeah, because it's the one with the two eyes, and
yes.
four big eyes.
Yeah, like a peanut eye car, I think.
Yeah, we got stupid eyes or Taisangan. Big
Taisangan. Correct.
And I think it's all about, I guess, the car shape, isn't it? Like, if you talk about BMW, the E36 is more squarey, and everything like the spoilers that are squared spoilers, the more squarey side skirts, the front lip, those fit the car. Same thing with Mercedes, like you gotta fit the particular car, and it will look great, like, We're going to come to the end of the show very quickly, guys. So if any questions, please ask away. Modern Mercedes that are, I guess, on sale now. Mike, Thomas, anything that you've driven so recently, and anything that actually, any comments about the new ones which you remembered? Or
I don't think the fans will like me a lot if I mention about how I feel about the new Mercedes.
You can. It's an open show. We are not sponsored by Mercedes.
The latest one, I think. Okay, when I was setting my, I was after I sold my C43, I became a bit like, I should have a automatic car at home, because I have the E30, I got the Spider, I need an automatic car. So I'm like, okay lah, let's look at the A class. So I went to test drive the A class, A250. On pictures, look beautiful. The interior, like, when you touch it, it's like, this is the interior. And what I cannot, and then the salesman asked me, hey, Thomas, so how? I say, to be honest with you, I'm very sorry. For me, the Volkswagen Golf GTI Mark 7 does a lot of things better than this car. In terms of suspension, in terms of the engine noise, make the right noise, you know, and the build quality, you know, it's just sorry lah, very hard lah. But but I get it again. The A class is the one that pulls people into the brand. You know, it's the one that introduces the brand to people. And for a lot of people, they like it. But I guess if you've driven a Mark 7 Golf GTI, you probably wouldn't feel for this lah. Yeah.
It's one of those. It's so good mechanically, but then again, when it comes to interior and all other aspects, people also like the experience of Mercedes, the branding, I guess the feel, the seats. I mean, yes, BMW is nice mechanically, but they are not a luxury brand, so to say.
Sorry, the Mark 7 interior feels more luxurious than the A.
Maybe the A lah.
For me. That's just me.
More business-like lah. More business-like lah. I think.
But if you're in the market looking for a modern Mercedes and you want some performance, something that does everything together, the C43 is a fantastic car. Yeah, I at least for me lah, I want something that has a little bit more challenge to drive. The C43 didn't have much challenge for me lah. It was easy to drive, and that was the reason why I couldn't connect with the car. You know, yeah. So that's all lah. If you ask me about Mercedes, those are the new modern cars I've driven. I wish I've driven the AMG GTS to tell you more about it, but I haven't. You know, so I can't say much about it. Yeah.
I've sat in the AMG GTS on a track in Sepang, and was really. I mean, I think we were there, right? And in Sepang.
I didn't.
The Mercedes. Yeah, so it was really a good experience, like, you know, and how the guy went, like, yeah, it's so easy to drift on this car, like, yeah, flip here, flip there, it drifts, you know. Yeah.
You know, regarding that, a lot of people have this idea that mid-engine cars handle better. You know, I think a lot of people thought, mid-engine better. I mean, mechanically, it sounds like it will handle better, but in my opinion, after driving the Boxster, the front engine or front mid-engine is actually a way easier car to drive. It's more forgiving because it's something called a yaw in the car. It goes back and forth, right? And the yaw is longer, so it doesn't snap at you so much. You got time for it to yaw. So when you're oversteering, you know, and oversteers with your front being planted. Now with mid-engine cars, when you oversteer, sometimes your whole car is like moving. You know, it's like you're moving with the oversteer, and that for a lot of people is not a very good sensation. That's why the AMG GTS, I can see why a lot of people say it's such an easy car to drive fast, because it's easier to jump in and drive this car than driving a Ferrari on track. Like that would be. Yeah. So the AMG GTS actually has this very beautiful quality people don't talk about. It's because of the front engine radiator setup. Again, most people say, it's not mid-engine, but there's an inherent quality in this setup actually.
Yeah, but actually, if you look at this AMG, right, you know, the engine is actually mid front, you know. It's not sitting over the front wheels. So
it's a front mid engine. It's actually more middle.
More middle. And where you are sitting is actually right at the back, you know, just behind, just in rear wheels. Yeah. I guess the sensation as well. Yeah.
I guess the mid-engine and the cars, you will not know the flip until it's too late,
Not so bad. But you have to drive on your toes, so you have to when it snaps, you have to catch it very quickly. So you know when front engine rear drive car, when it snaps, you slowly adjust back. You don't do any thrust. But with the mid engine, you have to fight it back very quickly. You have to just toss it back. You know, it's okay one. That's what I had to learn when I was driving my Spider. I have to so driving fast on the Spider, you have to drive with your nerves like this. Whereas my BMW, you can drive it with like, okay, I'm driving limit, but I don't have to go like, you know, oversteer, okay, I adjust, right? Whereas the Spider is like, But I get it. For performance driver, you want that quick adjustment, you know. But for people, common men like us, you know. I'm really curious to feel how it drives as well.
But I think in that defense, a lot of guys who go fast around Sepang, they are driving front-wheel drive car, rear-wheel drive car, and we had Ivan Kong on the show a while back, and he said, "What car would you prefer? Mid, front engine?" He says all car is fine. Any car is fine on track as long as you know how to drive the car. It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as front better, rear better, and they all fine. Is how you drive the car. You know.
That's true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I remember driving up to Genting with Maserati Gran Turismo. my one series, my one series. That guy cannot even come close to me.
I mean,
It was making
yeah,
me corner, everything, you know. But by the time I already had driven a lot, and I grew up with B roads, my father, so I had that advantage, lah, you know. But I wasn't driving that fast either. It was just that I brake less, lah, you know. Yeah.
I think Thomas, you come from an era which is quite fortunate now, because you also grew up in places like Sekamat and all that. And then
a lot of B-roads.
talking to you so much, your father is also another car enthusiast. Yeah. So which type of car you feel that make you feel alive, when you get behind the wheel? Which car for you?
Me,
yeah.
The car making me feel alive is a Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper, right?
At 70 miles per hour, 70 kilometers per hour, I feel like dying. I feel like, oh my god, my car is
gonna kill you. The death of me.
Hey, my Spider, you go 180 also, you're like, okay lah, right? Then the Mini Cooper 70 is like, there's 70. Then you go 110, it's like, 120. I can see Saint Peter already coming out. Saint Peter coming out already. For those who are non-Christian friends, Saint Peter is the when you die you go to heaven.
Guardian of the heavens of gate.
You good boy, bad boy. In a joking way, like yeah. So for me, that car makes you feel alive. But I gotta say, ever since I sold the C43, I changed my perspective of car ownership. All my cars make me feel alive. The E30, the Mini Cooper, the Spider. I started to, instead of just looking at brands, I started to look at what do I want to experience in this lifetime of owning cars, right? Yeah. And there's a comment down there, Andre say you just triggered the entire human race. Maybe it's referring to, some people always say, Thomas, you talk about VW interior, and a lot of people who don't understand because they haven't sit in both. And I did my review of the VW Arteon, right? And then I was touching it, and I was mentioned. I wasn't even fully mentioned. I didn't tembak or didn't say bad things about the W205, right? But I was just mentioning, it's hollow, right? The center console is hollow. Then someone said like, you tembak. I didn't tembak, right? I didn't tembak the W205. No. I'm just stating a fact. And the funny thing is, I used to own the W205, and then you say, people pay a lot. Then you say like you. I don't know what the comment was. I can't remember it. But something to do with like, you see people pay money and then get cheated. I didn't say that. It's just the nature of modern cars. It's acceptable to have hollow panels, but the W204, no hollow panels, like solid, right?
Solid,
But I think but I understand why people get triggered. No, I don't say everybody, but like because they work hard for this car. They made it and then bought I bought my BMW because of that. I made it. I want to buy a BMW. So of course I feel attacked when someone say a VW is better than a BMW, right? I get it. But if you are a car enthusiast, you drive the car back to back, the VW Mark 7 Golf and the A-Class, you will know what I'm talking about.
And I guess like people like when I review cars also, like because we've driven few cars, I got experience on them, and different experiences. Like I review a car, I may go through the more family orientation, like this how they sit with the kids, how are they for my wife to open the door, for example. I made fun of the BMW series because it didn't have a button to unlock the door from my wife's side. I said, how silly is that? I was cursing benefit. So it's a different experience, exposure. Like for Thomas, like who cares about the passenger side, So there are different experiences, and that's what car ownership was all about, because you look at raw reviews and you see, this point I like, makes sense. But everybody got different value to it. Like the interior of a Mercedes, for example, is very flashy. Some people love it, and I can appreciate those people love the interior. I can appreciate them, but may not be my liking, but I can appreciate yours. And you're right, because the interior, some of them are very finicky about how hollow this is, and annoys some people. Some people they're fine with it because why? It is fine. It's totally fine, And that's the idea of it.
Most people don't care, and most cars don't do like that anyways,
And that's the point of reviews, right? Because why? You look at like in the Horizon team, like that people think that we all have meetings about the car and review. No, I mean like when Con bought his car to me, he said, Thana, I don't want to give you any thoughts. Drive it, and then we come back. We we talk about notes, like what we thought of the car individually, but we do not share what the thoughts of the car before we review the car, because it's totally independent. Totally independent. What Thomas thinks, what I think, what Con thinks, what Bobby think, totally independent in Horizon. So yeah, talking about a rant on that lah. And which is why I really appreciate your reviews, Thomas, because a lot of the handling topic you talk about, you know, first time, because you drive a lot of I think you are more driver focused, car centric, newer cars, and you have a good sense of like what cars feels, mid engine, rear engine, weight transfers. You know, you have you can push into that extreme, where I have not, like, you know, let's be honest, like, no.
But let's face it, most people don't really care about weight transfer or anything, right?
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy watching the video when you were trashing the 340i, you know, with Rachel up getting. Wow. Crazy, man. That was crazy, man.
It's an easy car to drive like a lunatic. I was trying to show people that BMW engineered the X-Drive and the engine and everything to allow you to drive like a lunatic. That's where the inherent quality of the four-wheel drive is. You know,
Correct.
And the only way to show it is that you have to drive it like a lunatic a bit. Thank God that morning was empty. We went super early, you know, so there's no cars. But something a 4MATIC doesn't do. Which Mercedes.
Another upper life pillar. Father says that button on the door is useful. S-Max has it. Yes, the button on the door to open the four doors. I need that for my kids. You know, so non-fathers would never think about the buttons there. So yeah, guys, it's coming to the 1 hour mark of our show. This is only where we call it the end. As always, you know, I hope you enjoyed the session. Thomas Yap has a beautiful channel on YouTube. Please go look up Thomas Yap. The ASMR videos are fantastic. They're very relaxing, soothing in this crazy world of ours and COVID. Please enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoy the videos, Thomas. Go and look at his car videos again. They're very unique. If you can spot out little segments in this video, if you think about, you had the Peugeot 508 review, and if you had the, I think there was a Tiguan video you did before. Go and look. What is it? It was a German car. You did a sausage. What was it again? Kaya sausage. We did it. I won't give it away. Guys, go and watch this video. At the beginning of his videos, he's got a very funny snippet. You must watch it. If you don't watch it, it's your lost. Okay, so again, go and watch it. You enjoy it.
There'll be a Aston Martin Vantage Volante.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay.
Epic car. Yeah.
Epic car, epic review. Thank you, Thomas. Mike, anything else to sign up before we end the show?
Nothing much. You know, catch up with you guys next week. You know, we're going to do a JDM show next week. Yeah. We're going to talk about Japanese cars. You know, we are done with the Germans. Yes.
Epic. Actually, that's really cool, because my father's era, Japanese were trashing people with all the technology. Remarkable.
Yes. You know, but today, all these tofu chair, the prices are crazy, man.
Anyways,
you got to sell a lot of tofu. You got to sell a lot of tofu to get one of those. Yeah.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Thana. I had fun. Mike, I had fun as well. And
I had fun as well.
See you in person. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, you know, Thomas, for joining us. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's been a fun session. Yeah. Thank you, Thana.
Ciao, guys.
Okay.